What's up, everybody? This is your girl Erica from the Classy Climb blog. I apologize. I thought I'd be back where I was supposed to be by now, but we've been ripping around all day. December's a crazy month for us, programming wise, getting ready wise. You see the title? I was gonna make a cool thumbnail, and I got over it because I was busy. Interest rates will be cut 6 times in 2024. Now, why am I talking to y'all about this? If you're in my Middleman to Millions, this is our big kickoff January session that we'll be doing, I think, literally January 12th. If I'm not mistaken, if you're on Middleman to Millions course, we're doing a giant like kickoff because I already projected and told y'all what was about to happen. I've been telling you for years. Y'all don't listen to me, but that's okay because your girl's been being nice. But now we have 2 service businesses that don't have my face on them, don't include me on them. Got the equipment used because the dude ran out of money. Got the other one straight, said situated. You know what y'all didn't hear me talk about. I'm gonna talk about Middleman to Millions course, and I'm gonna tell you how we got these vans, how we got these tools, how we got this equipment, because guys washed out. Guys didn't have credit. Guys weren't prepared. And as the market shifts, if you're not trying to learn and unlearn, woo, somebody else come buy your stuff. All right. So listen. That's if you're in January. January 12th is a big kickoff day inside of Middleman's to Millions. Also, digital real estate students, I think, listen, this week's kind of crazy. I've got to get like dental work. So I'm gonna be looking crazy. So real puffy. So I think Wednesday I'll end up, instead of doing my Wealth Wednesday, I think I'm obligated to do somebody's mastermind. I'm teaching someone's mastermind course. I'm teaching a class for them. So I'm just giving y'all a heads up. If we don't do Wealthy Wednesday this week, but we'll check. We'll see how I feel after the surgery. Thursday, we'll be in Houston. Once I get back from the oil rigs, that's a whole nother story. Once I get back from the oil rigs, if I can do Thursday, I will do Thursday. I will let my students know because this is the time, y'all. Y'all don't understand how ready and prepared you should be. This is why I knew to do the digital liberty tour the first 6 months of the year. This is why I told y'all not paying attention. Y'all sleep. The link in the title is $7 to freedom. That's an affiliate marketing thing I've been doing that is probably going to make me $1 million next year. Why? I'll teach a lot of that in digital real estate class and the amount of stuff we've been doing on Facebook and YouTube ads. Also, there is the free guide. You can grab it in that link. And you get a couple free things every couple of days. So anyways, you guys already know what it is. Listen, have them start in the spring. Let's see how it plays out. So listen, what's getting ready to happen? I told y'all, and some of y'all are like, oh, I'm not buying a house. The interest rates, Erica, I'll never buy a house. The interest rates, oh my God. I can't buy a house. No one should buy a house. And I told y'all, don't listen to those people. I kept coming across realtors, brokers, and regular Joes buying houses, getting a 5% interest rate, or KB Homes or DR Horton would buy down their interest rate and get it down to 4.5, 5.5. I had a friend who was a broker, walked away with $11,000 check at closing because they're going insane trying to close out. I went by a particular home location over here. They had 50 canceled contracts. And they're trying to do everything in their power to close by November 30th. Why? November 30th was their closeout date, and their books were going to look bad. And their books look bad. That's going to mess up their stocks. And then that's going to mess up with home. Yeah, listen, it's a whole temple thing, right? And so I and some other people I know, we got the best deals of our life in housing because we already know it's not going to come down. Right? There's some areas here in Austin that came down to 330. There's a bunch of areas in San Antonio that are 250. 230, they're way on the edges. So when people say, oh, people can't afford a house, hacker, if you can't afford a house for 230, baby, you ain't never gonna afford one. Right? Like we literally, where there's places in South Carolina, Augusta, Georgia, where there's still houses for sale for 70. But here's the problem: $70,000. Oh, the kitchen needs to be redone. I don't want that. Oh, the backyard needs to be redone. I don't want that. I want a walk-in, move-in ready house. So what they're telling you is there's discounts on houses. They don't want those houses. They want a brand new construction in a new neighborhood with incentives, and they come in, so they can show their friends and family. These people will forever be left behind, and they will forever be renting. When I tell you this has been the biggest wealth transfer, I literally, and y'all think I'm exaggerating, I'm over the top, I literally cried that I felt like I didn't buy a house in Austin in 2020 or in 2017. And the reason I cried is because I could see it, y'all. I could see like people who are dumb. I'm talking about big dummies having $150,000, $200,000, $250,000 in equity and be like, Ericka, I don't know what to do. What should I do? I'd be like, I'd be like crying because I knew if you're a person, especially African American people who are here, there are two girls I know right now. They're nurses, but they barely work. They do part-time or they'll do contracts here and there and they'll stop because they have inherited two houses from their parents. Each girl inherited one over here. She inherited one from her aunt or uncle. Another one inherited one from her mom and daddy. Here in Austin, they rent those houses out and live in Houston. And literally the one girl's a nurse is like, girl, I took $400,000 in equity out of the house. She living ballerific in Houston, done bought other rentals. She like, I just nurse to get the little splash of income. You know what I mean? Like she do a contract. She's like, hey, who can beat $4 or $5 grand a week? She's living her very best life. And she'll talk to other Black people from Austin and they be looking at her crazy like, you still keep your daddy and mama house? Oh, girl, you should sell it. And she just be looking at them like, okay, oh, you poor person. You don't know. Like this was the wealth transfer of our lives. You have people sitting in homes right now who weren't capable enough to figure out how to pull $150,000, $250,000 equity out of their house and use it to their advantage. Now, many people say, well, you shouldn't use your house like an ATM, Ericka. That's not good. Listen, that's what people did in 2008. They took money out of their house to go on vacations and buy cars. I'm telling you, take the money out. And again, it's not financial advice, to invest in other properties, to invest in other assets, because we went to asset-based living in 1971. I don't think you guys realize we had three true, what we call defaults. And then this is a financial term. Don't get upset with me. 1968, we stopped exchanging money for silver, right? We took a lot of the silver out of the coins in the United States. And like, if you came to the bank with some silver, you could get dollars. 1968, no, you're not going to do that. 1971, we're taking the gold off the gold standard. Boom. So basically, if people owed us or we owed people in gold, we were like, oh, we can't pay you in gold. We can only pay you in dollars. So sorry. Those are defaults. The other default, of course, is the Great Depression. That's a whole other conversation. But those are defaults. We're defaulting on our money. And so if you look back in time, when people say, where's the opportunity? I'm telling you, this is the last big open door opportunity for you. I don't think y'all guys understand that over $5 trillion went out of our government money to businesses. And 1.8 went to people, but 5 trillion in total went to business owners. So I had people on the phone talking to me like, oh yeah, I started a startup in 2021 in response to the pandemic that qualified for all that same money. So when people say, oh, people were double dipping and all this other stuff, no. People literally started 2, 3, 4, 5 businesses in response to 2020 in 2021, and they qualified for that same PPP lending, 100K, EIDL loan for 150, that same ERC money for up to $300,000, $400,000, $100,000. So the money that y'all think is gone out of the marketplace, business owners have it. Whether you agree with that or not, that's on you. But business owners who knew how to do their paperwork had it. Now, what's the problem with that? Almost 80% of Latino and Black business owners made all their staff contractors. Made all their employees 1099 people, trying to be slick, trying not to pay taxes. A lot of them didn't have their paperwork together. You talked to almost every Black accountant, they were stressed out because so many Black and Latino business owners were running to them to fix their paperwork so they could qualify for the ERC. And because they couldn't fix it in time, some of the people let the companies that applied for the ERC for them take 20% of their money so they can help them get their taxes together and get their paperwork together. I know one guy who worked for ERC with a particular company. They literally, every time they were getting a business owner $100,000 for the 4 employees, some of their family members working for them, they were taking $25,000 off the top because the people's paperwork wasn't ready because they weren't together. They didn't have their stuff together. So when people talk to me about, oh, Ericka, you're exaggerating the power of business, I'm like, I'm about to show you. See, like, nice Ericka, chill Ericka is so gone. I'm going to show you because I just know the power now, and I've sat back and watched it. And boy, I got a show y'all going to see in the next 6 months. And I hope you love it because it's going to be juicy. And here's the problem that, Charlie Munger died this past week, and everybody's like, oh my God, Charlie Munger. And a lot of people are like, who's that? And I was like, oh my God. Oh my God. I'm just talking to people like, never mind, go sit down somewhere, right? You're not even awake. So Charlie Munger said this in his last interview. This is like maybe 4 weeks ago, right? He did a great interview with a woman 2 weeks ago. He looked really frail. I felt bad, but he was so cognitive. And this is like, what y'all don't understand is when you get that money and you can get the best medicine, the best supplements, the best vitamins. If you pay attention, the wealthier people are and the more they walk, the closer to 100 they get. Go to anywhere in New York where them people doing the Tai Chi, right? Them old folks moving around doing karate in the park. Those people be living to 100 because they're moving. They have purpose. They have mission. They're getting good, real holistic food. But that's, I'm gonna leave y'all alone on that. So Charlie Munger had really, I think, 3 great things that I wrote notes on that he said in this past like 4 weeks in these last couple of interviews, and even at Berkshire Hathaway, because they were just like, why do you keep bringing this up, dude? Like, he said it twice, and everybody, and it's thousands of people, they're still like, why is he saying this? And so this was the top 3, I think, is the best. Anyway, so he said, what gives you opportunity is people doing dumb things. What are dumb things? When all the herd tells you, don't buy a house, don't buy a house. My sister, who's a realtor part-time and was struggling to stay a realtor, but is mostly a hairdresser, owns a hair salon. People were coming to her like, I just want to live in an apartment. My brother moved out. My husband divorced me. Can you just take over my mortgage? Can you just sell this house? Can you just do something for me? And every single one of those situations, other wholesalers would come in and be like, I'll take over those payments. Don't worry, girl. I'll come over and take it. These women were walking away because they didn't have the boyfriend or the husband or the capacity to keep it. And I just don't even care about it. You have those real life situations happening, and you got to be ready. You got to be prepared. You got to hear it and launch on it. So opportunity comes when people do dumb things. That's just, Charlie Munger said it. Don't get mad with me. This is a quote of the year. Opportunity when people do dumb things. Another opportunity is I purchased one of these semi trucks. It was one of my last purchases from a crackhead. Now I'm gonna call him a crackhead, but really he was a meth head. And the Ukrainians were like, yo, get this truck, take it. I was like, I really don't want it. I don't want it. They're like, he's a meth head. He's going to run off. He just wants some cash. Give him some cash. We sign on the paper. I give him the money. I get the truck. And it was some of the last trucks I had. It didn't cost me anything. I wasn't losing money on it because I paid cash for a crackhead, basically. And it was just sitting in the dirt working. I get an opportunity in North Carolina under a company. We just need to transport chickens this little short range back and forth. We'll pay you some money this is how much money this contract makes. And I said, how much it makes? Say what? Yeah, guys like being local. We just got a contract. So by the time I look at this contract, y'all, this one truck will pretty much justify all the other losses I took past couple years. So again, opportunity comes when people do dumb things. Another opportunity for me is people selling their business equipment on Facebook Marketplace. People selling land on Facebook Marketplace. They thought they were going to hold out. There was a lady who was holding out on this property. She lost it in the tax auction. They've come back and listed that same property that I wanted on MLS. I'm like, no problem. Now I don't have to chase you down to get it. I'll just buy it right out. So again, opportunity comes when people do dumb things. That's number 1. Number 2, and we're going to get into all the interest rates. I know there's like 182 people here. Thank you for being here. Drop a 1 if you're enjoying the content, and drop your city and state in the chat. It helps us determine where we put our events and our locations. Number 2 is bet heavily on your best bets. So the thing about Charlie Munger, what I like about him is he kept saying, we didn't know we were going to live to be this old to see all this unfold and test our theory, right? Because you can make a few bets here and there in life, and 10 years later, 20 years later, you're like, oh, that wasn't a good one. That wasn't so good. Maybe we should have did this instead. And so he jokingly says, you bet heavily on your best bets. I don't think you guys understand. Berkshire Hathaway, Warren Buffett, and Charlie Munger put let me say that again, $50 billion, not millions, $1 billion into Apple at a time where people be like, are y'all crazy? Why are y'all doing this? Because they said that of all the noise, the tech noise, the AI, this is before AI noise, but with all the tech noise, and this is new technology, and like you should really jump on in this, they looked out in the sea and they couldn't see anything that was going to be a like torpedo of whoa, right? Apple. So they doubled down on Apple. They put a huge ton of money into Apple, and Apple is what Apple is today because of it. And they're rich off Apple, right? Bet heavily on your best bet. So there's certain things. Warren Buffett, I don't think he's not as recognized for this, but he should be. He owns a ton of Dairy Queen, and he invests heavily in mobile homes. And there's a lot of pushback because the mobile homes in certain areas are native tribe areas. But I'm talking about thousands upon thousands upon thousands of mobile homes that were owned and sold via either the company, owned via the management, Warren Buffett. So when people start making fun of certain investment classes, I just laugh because I'm like, Warren invests in Dairy Queen, Warren invests in trailers. Like, what are you talking about? So again, you're not going to make 100 bets in the stock market at a time because you can't watch 100 stocks. You can't observe 100. You can observe 3 or 4 companies really well and know how they ebb and flow and move, and you can invest in 3 and 4. So bet heavily on your best bets. That's number 2. Number 3, and I thought this was funny, but I like it. Because again, he's insulting you, but old style, like where older men would insult you, but with class, okay? He's like, the low-hanging fruit for the idiot is not gone, but it's almost gone. He literally said this. Low-hanging fruit for the idiot is not gone, but almost gone. And why did he say this, and what did it mean? I will go to events, and I am being careful, but I'm not being careful. And the average person there that's a business owner is a frat bro, is like a lughead, is like the kid that wasn't paying attention in class, was like, what's up, dude? What's up, bro? Let's go, bro. Like a lot of that, right? And they just were able to, I'm going to stick with AC repair and do that. They're not even handy with their hands. They just decided to own the company, pay for that, stay consistent, stick with it. Consistency compounds, right? Or they do roofing and they're just a guy's guy and guys like working for them. Or they do other companies that are in the service business area. And because, we shun service businesses for so long, the amount of men in those areas are low. And so the pay goes up, 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 up. Right? And so that's something you need to understand. Now, also, what's the low-hanging fruit? Buying a couple rentals, buying 10 rentals, buying a few properties, buying a few things. Anybody can go out and do that. The much more complicated thing is to get like a big bonanza from investing that way. And that's kind of how you described it, which I thought was funny, the word bonanza. I hadn't heard that in so long. But what he was trying to say is like the whole I'm going to get rich and blow up off something very simple because I'm an idiot and I don't want to specialize. That's kind of over, right? In the horizon of him, which he's not going to be here. He was saying the next 50 years, that's not going to be easy for people, right? It'll be easier for you to be a low number millionaire than to be like the bonanza of all rental properties or the bonanza of Ohio or whatever. Yeah. So I like those 3 takeaways. Now that I've gone through the Charlie Munger takeaways, I think I can kind of go focus on the interest rates and what I want to say about them. KB Homes, DR Horton, all these companies out here in Texas. I have most of the video, and it's kind of going viral, but not too fast on Instagram today, talking about people buying homes in Texas for $230. And people are all, oh no, it's $400,000. Well, that's if you want to be right downtown or right in the middle of most of these major cities. But the numbers did go from 250, 230 to 400,000. Now you can still right now go on realtor.com and go into San Antonio and go in any of the suburbs and find homes for brand new for 230, 250, 270. There are parts of Houston, yes, they have a hood, but you can also go further out towards Katy, Paraview. You can go out past Sugarland, all those areas, and you will find a little bit past Sugarland, probably closer to Pearland, and you will find homes. Yeah, probably Pearland is more accurate. In Spring, Texas, but Spring, Texas is close to that Woodlands, so there's money over there, but a little bit up, past over there. You'll find 230, 250, 270, 330. So you could afford a house, and this rhetoric of I can't afford has kind of put the blinders on people. And again, what is the method? You make opportunity when people are dumb. When everybody's like, interest rates, I didn't want to buy a house. No way. Like, these are the same people who didn't get pre-approved when Obama was in. They didn't get pre-approved when Bush was in. They didn't get pre-approved when Clinton was in. These people never wanted the responsibility of a home. It's just like all talk, right? It's like you got that cousin saying, I wish I was married, girl. Or you done had 27 boyfriends. Pick one of them. Any of them would have did. You know what I'm saying? And so what happens is people who really never wanted that level of responsibility, which is absolutely fine, um, they will miss out on those opportunities and forever be locked in as a renter. That just is what it is. It's what it is. So why are these interest rates important? If you are, like me, a new construction builder, if you're trying to buy land, build construction properties, build duplexes, like again, if you were a builder this year, money was weird, especially April, May, and June. Everybody was freaking out. It was almost like stagflation. But if you were smart as a builder, you just pivoted from just single family houses to duplexes and fourplexes. Why? You have a series of older people. You have a series of like people that are in between, whether they want to buy a home or whatnot. They would live in a duplex or a triplex and live there gladly for maybe up to 5 years. So you were good. You were locked in. But also, every one of these cities and states have 7, 8, 10 years of backlog of Section 8. And these Section 8 people are getting older. So they're in their 50s, 60s. They're starting to get in a kind of a protected class. So it would have been best for you to have a duplex or a triplex, preferably that's on the ground, and they could have been able to get a wheelchair out of it if they needed to. Right? So those builders, you were fine. What builders took the biggest hit this year? Multifamily. Everybody's telling you to do multifamily. Grant Cardone's telling you to do multifamily. They're telling you to go big or go home, buy all these units. And I'm like, y'all don't have the capacity. You don't understand how apartments work. You don't understand. You aren't a front desk girl like me. You aren't a billings manager like me. You know, there is a certain cycle to apartments, and the fact that a lot of these people ran into syndicators, bought apartments, and then lost their shirt in Texas. So let's do the math. Let's say they were building them and they acquired them in 2019, 2020, and they were going to do the magical 3-year or 5-year refinance. Well, guess what happened? If they refinance, now it's like, oh, we can't. And so some people were forced refinance, which they don't do many loans like that anymore, but there are loans where it just forces it, or it's arm adjustable. And if you don't got the payout in 3 years, sorry about you. Now you got a new interest rate. And so you have one guy who's a syndicator in Dallas who, to me, his math never made great sense. I was a part of his groups, but I never got to invest in some of his purchases because it was stupid. It was stupid math. It was like, you're buying some of the same Dallas, Texas buildings that are overpriced. And so he lost 5 of his apartments in a row at this point. So people are kind of pissed, but therealdeal.com is posting all about it. You know who I'm talking about. Not slandering because I don't want that drama. And also the same lender that lent to him is lending to me. So I'll be quiet. Okay. So on that, past that, all right. What does that mean for you? 80% of people, 80% of Americans, they don't want to have a business. They don't want extra responsibility of a home. They're just trying to chill and kick it and kiki and halala laugh at. The immigrants coming across that border, first thing they doing is starting some type of LLC. They got an ITIN number that they go to the bank and open a bank account anyway. The interest rates being low, even if they're for like a few months, is going to cause almost hyperinflation, right? All these trucking companies, all these car dealerships, all these places where the prices have started to get back normal. And I've been keeping my eye on a particular 4Runner price and Jeep price and also pickup trucks because I wanted to acquire some for my company. I saw the prices just go absolutely to the ground, back to normal, back to 2019. So I was like, oh, okay, well, this is the price. Well, if the interest rates change again, back down, it's about to be crackhead city again. These Jeeps and these trucks are going to go back to $400,000 to $45,000, $50,000. Like there are people right now on dealerships. If you go watch several of these videos, there are dealerships with $50,000 4Runners and $40,000 trucks sitting that they can never sell. When really the beginner entry level for those vehicles are like 32,000, 31,000. Very bare bones basic truck, 30K. Right now, guess what people also did? They went to the auction. They gonna scoop up, like we have a neighbor who scooped up 4 red Ford pickup trucks. It's somebody company, I don't know who, but he scooped up 4 at one time. Same exact model, same exact look, everything at the same time at an auction. He was like, it was the best deal ever. 4 in a row at an auction. So depending on these dealerships, if they held this long, they may be good. If they didn't, because the same funding companies I know in Dallas, they're also funding repo companies. But what happened with the last little wigwalk? Repo men, you had over, I think 110,000 repo men go find other jobs. because nobody was repoing, because the government gave us a 3-year window of, we're not repoing. It's all good. It's gravy. So again, interest rates coming down will give people who are business owners, people who have great credit, people who already own a home, people who have equity in their home, it will give them an opportunity of a lifetime to get more money. Everybody else, this will be bad for you. This will make food go up. This will make your light bill go up. This will make every day your energy costs go up. Again, I told y'all, why am I investing in oil? Why am I working with oil rigs? Why am I investing directly? Because you got a lot of hungry Texas young men who remember how great and glorious the 80s and the 90s were, and their daddies were big daddies out there in Texas. And they have went back out to all these little old oil rigs and tapping them to see, hey, you got some oil in there still? Let's go. And there is money in that. So I'll have some video next week or so from that. But I'm telling you, only way we stay balanced as Americans is that oil, because Texas has some of the biggest reserves ever. And literally, if the whole world shut us out, we could fuel ourselves. Same thing with Venezuela. This is why it's so crazy when you go to some of these countries and they're struggling. Embargoes, tariffs, all kind of stuff has been done to them. But without all that interference, government interference, they would be some of the richest places you've ever seen in your life. It would be. So again, why am I bringing this up? Again, nursing homes, assisted living homes. The average, and I posted it on the wall, $8,000 a month. They're gonna take your mom's whole Social Security check, everything she got, and until they run that money out, then they'll put her in the dusty, decrepit side of the building. Okay, what they do anyway. Then on top of that, let's say you say, no, I'm gonna keep my mom at home, my mom or father, whatever your case may be. I apologize for your situation. Nurses cost $25 an hour. So you can only have a nurse over your house only so many hours a day. The rest of the time is going to be a CNA person who costs less, or visiting angels, what they call them, home health care people. So again, these prices, again, if you're a person who wants to open an adult daycare, where basically older folks come in the daytime to save their family a few dollars in the daytime while mom or dad is at work, while their children are at work, there's going to be a lot of money in adult daycares. But again, you got to have the people to work the adult daycare. Again, this is the same thing, right? What's going to happen is the interest rate is going to be so tight, these people are going to go looking for work, right? Right now, there's a boom in a certain type of sales, and I've talked about in digital real estate, because a lot of moms who are stay-at-home moms, they're like feeling it, like, I might need to go back to work. It's not a great time to do that. Not a great time to do that right now. Companies have already felt the shift. Oh, y'all got to come back in these offices. Don't worry, we'll wait. Again, it's a shift happening. And if you're not on the right side of this shift, hyperinflation for you is going to be horrible. Hyperinflation for business owners, people doing government contracts, people doing something I'm going to talk about, middleman to millions in the spring, big money. Joe Biden and all these people that wrote this stuff up in these bills. You can find this money and see where it's at and see what they're talking about. But again, you have to be in preparation. You have to be prepared to receive it, to be at your top performance level. But a lot of people are asleep. Now, there's a thing this guy said, if you're ever in a sports arena, right, and the camera is going around, a lot of people are doing little dances, like, hey, chilling, right? And the camera gets on them. Then all of a sudden they're like, yeah, give it to me. They're doing all the dances. Yeah, they're getting crazy, right? They're getting crunk. Well, what happens? It's the spotlight was on them. Attention was on them. And then when the spotlight moves away, they go back to their low energy dance. This is most people. Most people are not giving it 100%. They're coasting, they're enjoying life. And when a situation arises, and then all of a sudden it's like, oh no, I have to give it 100%, and I'm tired and I'm burnt out. Well, this is a lot of adults who've just basically been zoomed out for about 3-4 years or since high school. And now when the economy is tight, when energy costs are high, when the gas and electricity is high, and this is a big market next year. If you're super smart and you're reading between the lines of what I'm saying, people are going to be figuring out, I'm in this house with this great interest rate. How can I get my energy bill down? Is it solar panels? Is it foam? Is it installation? Is it stuff in my roof? Is it caulking the windows? Is it brand new windows? When the interest rates are low, all these people with these homes who need that maintenance that needs to not be deferred are going to come out the woodwork. They're going to come out the woodwork. There are going to be people selling grandma and grandpa's house because the grass is too high, the repairs are too much, and there'll be a lot of money to be made there as well. So them cutting these interest rates, it will spark hyperinflation. If it's too early, if it's anything before May, hyperinflation. Because there's people sitting on the sidelines, mostly business owners, mostly people with equity in their home, right? You got all these people who are literally taking HELOCs at 8, 9, 10% interest rate, y'all, because they need that money bad. Imagine the person who's sitting on the sidelines waiting, and they're not stupid. They've been counting, they've been reading books, they've been investing in themselves, they've been thinking, okay, I need to buy a couple extra properties. I may need to borrow a farm. Farmers about to be lit. Farmers about to be so lit. They excited. I'm telling you what, hyperinflation works if you own assets. It does not work if you don't. You're in a bad spot. You thought them houses coming down were cool? When they bring that interest rate back down, them houses going right back up. And then some. Again, people who are like, oh, I may be ready in 2-3 years, maybe. Okay. It's cool. Because you keep looking around Texas, they're like, why are they building all these apartments? 49 states right now have unemployment numbers that are going up. Guess the one state that doesn't? Texas. These people are going to listen to the marketing. No matter all the stuff you're hearing about Florida, and they're beating DeSantis down. When DeSantis talked across from Gavin Newsom, who's just smiling like, ha, 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 and he's oblivious and does not care. They're literally telling you, people are leaving your state because it's unsafe. They're paying high taxes. The money's coming out of their pockets. It's dangerous. You guys aren't offering any help. And he's like, ha, ha, sorry about you. You know, the companies ought to pay more. That didn't work. California's a failed experiment. But if you come online, people are like, California, we're the richest, we're the best. No, it's not working there. You guys, Arnold Schwarzenegger, I don't know if you guys remember how long ago Arnold Schwarzenegger was in the office in California. There was a bill that came in for them to vote. And it said, if they don't vote the left part of this bill, the state will be in deficiency for the next 50 years. They won't come out of it. And people still voted the other way. So you're like, it's failed. Like, all the money you guys make, the only way they can go up in California is tax you more. They can't get any, like, they have to tax you more because they're going to be deficient for the next 50 years. And I don't think people understand that. They come out of California and they go, where are the services, Ericka? Texas needs more services. I'm like, it does? Well, go back to California. I used to talk about North Carolina all the time. People are like, oh man, girl, stop talking about North Carolina. I'm like, it's beautiful. And I put my money where my mouth is. I put money there and I put money here. So let me keep going. Let me get through here. Let me see some of your comments because I have a few more topics, but I'm gonna try to hold it in the road. I have them starting in spring. Let's see how it plays out. I agree with Dave, thinking April. Woo, because the stock market ain't stopped rolling. Listen, good news for investors. May 5 is exactly right. May 5 is a ticket reseller. I've already scoped for next year. And why did I scope for next year? Because I already see over 50, like, all these artists, if you're not paying attention, are doing a lot of conferences, a lot of concerts. Why? Cash flow. Ericka Badu is coming to Hutto, Texas, y'all. Ericka Badu. Robert Glasper is coming back here again in like April. And everybody's like, why are they coming to Austin? I'm like, you need the money. They need the money. NLI money next year? Juicy fruit. Crazy. These interest rates come down and these boosters get more access to money. University of Texas is now in the SEC. It's going to be insane. Like, I wish I could get the energy out of y'all that people get for football. I went by Walgreens, I was buying something, and men were in line. It was just a line full of men. I was like, good Lord, what's going on? And this black man had a Denver Broncos hat on. And I go, man, Denver Broncos turned it around. Russell Wilson out there looking good. And he's just like, yeah. And then I said, they won 5 games in a row. Two white men behind him, the white man behind him and the white man behind him. Yeah, blah, blah, blah. You talking about the Texans? I'm like, they were about to jump through the line to talk to me about some football. I wish we had that same enthusiasm for the money that's about to wreck y'all lives coming up. I already know the way to market to people next year, and it's all about their damn light bill. So I'm already got one of my companies are going to be Gucci. We're good. We're going to be so good. But people are like, sleep at the wheel. Boom. They do. They want HGTV, man. They're taking all the money in real estate. Stop selling assets. I keep telling people, stop selling your grandma house, and everybody thinks it's a joke, or don't sell the property. Like, this is how they're gonna clear out half of South Carolina beaches. They've already cleared out Hilton Head and a couple other ones, and Edisto Island, where one of my nieces lives. They already cleared them out of there because they won't come together or fill out paperwork or agree or pay like $3,000 in taxes a year. 50 people living on the one piece of property. Nobody's paying it. It's cool. Here you go. There's always one. Not true. Everybody I know with businesses didn't get that money. That's why I said 80% of people who paperwork was fucked up. They were Black or Latino. They didn't get that money. But I can best believe and tell you right now, if they have good accounting team, again, if you're in business at this point and you don't have accountants, not accounting firm, you don't have an insurance guy you talk to, you don't have a series of financial people you talk to, baby, you're not in business. You got to hustle. And I keep trying to like let you see where you can convert this from a hustle. Because a lot of people think, man, you're hustling all the time. I'm like, no, this shit's a business. Like, and I particularly paid a really high thousands of dollars in taxes so that I knew when I went in the bank at the beginning of this year coming up, and the interest rates are lower, but also they're hungry for business owners, paperwork, that they would be like, oh, right? Because they don't really consider you a real business till you're paying them taxes. And I know people don't believe that, but go talk to a few bankers, because they'll be like, every year you write off everything and you only make 30K a year. That's why when people say, well, the average business owner only makes 70K a year, Ericka, that's not true. That's after they write off everything, you dumb. The average person's company makes about 250 to 300,000 a year. If it makes less than that, like it's a minor service business. I've got dudes who have flea market stores that call me that are bringing in 100K off their flea market store. Ericka, how can I make this more legitimized? First, get it off time. Second, get it off PayPal. Let's put this stuff in a bank. Let's write it up. Let's pay some taxes on it. So now you have the world access to getting real funding. I mean, I'm just going to go there with y'all. So again, Money Up Records, I'm just letting you know. Warren Buffett is pouring the Top Chef bourbon to his top homie right now. Maybe the plebs will understand that for sure. The money. They're pouring so much money into their bodies. You guys don't understand. I have a thing I'm documenting, and y'all gonna see. You're going to act a fool, but when you start paying money to these particular type of specialists, and they're reading you your blood work, and they're telling you, hey, we're gonna shoot you up with all these type of different things. I'm telling you, it's not drugs. It's like everybody thinks everybody's on steroids or what's that other thing? Ozempic. No, it's literally there's like powerful concoction levels of vitamins that you can give your body. And these athletes look like that because of it. Not because of everybody's like, steroids. That's an easy, lazy, cheap thing. But if you're a top athlete, you're LeBron James, you think LeBron James and Steph Curry can test for steroids? Remember Ray Rice was like, I use deer antler spray. Right? The best of the best with real money aren't paying for deer antler spray. They're paying for really top gear stuff that when you do their blood work, you can't even see it in there. There's a group of women, I'll tell y'all the digital real estate course, they're 40 to 50. They tweak their diet and they use a certain amount of supplements. Nothing crazy. And they are having children naturally. The food we're eating in America, yes, some of it is heavily sprayed with chemicals and all that stuff because we have a huge nation and we transport food way longer than most countries do. When y'all go to France or Europe or something, they literally go get it from the village down the street, right? And we could do that in America, but it's more costly, right? I encourage you to go do that. I encourage you to meet you a farmer this year and buy your chickens and your meats and your stuff from them. But I'm gonna leave that alone. Bob Barker was a vegetarian. Bob Barker was half Indian. Bob Barker was Native American. That's why that hair was looking so nice for so long. Okay, Bob Barker was doing what he do. Okay. I missed that play. Early 2001 Apple was funk. Cheap ass Starbucks. Yeah. I mean, again, they just lived long enough to see bets that they bet on be robust, exist. Geico and Mutual of Omaha. When I got my house 10 years ago, all you hear was, you young and unmarried. What you gonna do with all that space? I almost paid and about to be rental. That's what I'm gonna do with all that space. And I will give a caveat to men and a caveat to uncles who are like, girl, why you buying a house? Women sometimes become nesters. We get in the house, we don't leave the house. There's a degree of women that does happen to at a certain age. So, but I noticed even when women get a house, they want a man, they go out to that house. They will go out to that house and go find one. I got a friend right now, she having a resurgence. She done started going to the gym. She done started going out. I said, girl, you going to go find a man, ain't you? I feel you, go get it, girl. You know what I mean? So like, when people say stupid stuff like that, especially in this America, this economy, I met a Latino girl who she lives at home with her parents. But because the houses are so cheap in Round Rock, her daddy and them bought not the next door neighbor house, but a couple houses over, because it was going to be for her. They bought it, cleaned it up, and rented it out. So it's still her house. It's just rented out because she don't have no husband. You know, Latino culture is a little different, okay? All right. So she's just staying there with her parents, and she's enjoying that. So people don't realize. This the thing, Big Diggity. Go research today, Big Diggity. ING. This is the analyst prediction. Go look it up. Now, of course, Jerome Pratt gonna come on there and be like, I can't cut nothing. Stop asking me for cuts. But look at the predictors. Go look at analyst reports. It's crazy. But you also have to remember, you have to realize your parent, and they do studies on this, your parent will give a child the most safe, basic information. And this is something that's ugly. And forgive me if you're offended by this, but there are some people who have made children with women with a low IQ, right? And they do studies on this. And depending on what your mom's mental grasp of things are, it depends on the child. They'll study a child and go, how come these children in this particular urban area, no disrespect, but it is what it is. If you leave your child daycare, you're not there to enforce new words. You're listening to Sexy Red all day. You're not there to enforce new words, new vocabulary. Have 5,000 to 10,000 words less than this community. My nephew's teachers were always like, what program do you have them in? And my mom and my sister would be like, what do you mean? What are you talking about? They have such a great vocabulary. Or my nephew during the pandemic, she's like, how'd you teach him to read when school was out because of the pandemic? And my mom went, on demand. She was like, what? On demand. When he wanted to watch a show, he had to type in the actual words. Spider-Man, Batman, this, Frozen, whatever the show was, he had to fully type it in on demand to get to it. So he could read and write and do all this stuff, and he'd be in front of the classroom reading to these kids who couldn't read and write in first grade because they spent the pandemic in kindergarten on Zoom. In first grade, can't read or write. My nephew and one other girl in the class is reading to the whole classroom on repeat every day because the teacher's just trying to get them to write their name and catch up. So again, I'm not trying to disrespect people, but some people have made baby mamas with low income, low IQ chicks. And I've seen this play out in real life where my brother made a baby with a girl who was incredibly intelligent. That daughter's in freaking law school right now. That niece of mine is in law school, flying colors, married and gone on with her life. I seen her make a baby with someone who was dumb. And those children as adults have struggled their whole life. No matter how much money we've thrown at it, no matter how much of tutoring we've paid for, they are struggling as adults because of the mother choice. So when I talk about that stuff, I go, be careful of the information and value your parents speak to you, because not that your parents are bad people. They just may not be at a capacity to understand or uniquely troubleshoot your life. Again, somebody's going to leave this and say, Ericka called somebody mama dumb. I get it, but that's not what I'm saying. I just want you to understand, like, a lot of y'all call me on phone. My mom and dad don't understand. They may not be built to. They may not be built to understand. You will just have to show them or go study people who know what they're talking about. Why are you going to ask your grandma about stocks when you can go ask Diamond Dave? Why are you doing that? Why are you asking your grandma about loans when you can go to a bank? That don't make sense. Baby, come on. Grandma cook good food, but grandma don't know nothing about no stocks. Come on, man. Collector items. And I love them. I done told you, if you know what the Wednesday, you already know. California going down, down, down. No. So here's the thing. Saudi Arabia is using almost all its money to kind of shore up themselves as something other than oil. And so if you look at London, you look at all of Europe, they're heavily invested in Africa. Africa is really the play. I know America always thinks everybody's worried about America, but really the heavy play is Africa. So pretty much, as I'm going to Zanzibar in March, Dubai is now controlling the airport for Zanzibar. That's why when I bring on DJ Money and I bring on other people, and I'm like, y'all do understand, Africa's a golden opportunity. Max Maxwell went over there and bought a bunch of villas and built a bunch of villas. Why? Because he could do it for pennies on the dollar. But he's gonna charge you some good money. That's why I tell y'all, get in with people that are doing it on the ground up, because Africa's their next. I can buy whole swats of country for nothing. I'm not gonna come to America when I can buy whole swats of country over here. That's not how Saudi Arabia working. Yeah, he just kept laughing. It was real weird. People get energy for soccer. Yeah, soccer, football, hockey, and everything else. Listen, they stay blaming black people. It's black people rioting. I'm like, really? Ain't nobody but Hispanics out there. I just saw the movie Silent Night. Was it Silent Night? And the white dude is basically MS-13. Latino gangbangers are shooting. They shoot his kid. He's basically chasing them down. They shoot him. He recovers. You know, he's an angry white man. He's lifting weights. He comes back and he kills them all, you know, on Christmas Day. So it's one of these movies that's like, at the end of the movie, the white men in the theater were clapping. I was like, y'all gotta chill out. Y'all gotta chill out, okay? But it was based in California, based on MS-13, basically. I'm not gonna ruin the movie for you if you want to go watch it, because it's funny. California struggle. They sent me DMV registration bills for like 3 years to my new address out of state. Yeah, Kelly was like, give us that money. Give us that money. I'm telling you, when you get these blood work tests and they tell you what you're deficient in and what you can't process for food, the insurance company already know it because they already did the test on you. That's why they're charging these crazy insurance rates. They already know it. They done seen your blood, know what's in your blood, and they done, okay, yeah, this is gonna be your bill. Your bill's gonna be $348 a month. Okay. You're like, why? I'm in health. I don't smoke, I don't drink. Oh, they already know. They done seen your blood. They know it's in your blood, baby. Awesome. Thank you. I bought my home specifically to rent out. Everyone asks, why did you buy that much? Listen, Miss Jill, one of the properties that your girl is trying to get here in Texas is right walking distance from an elementary school. Now, most people say, oh, why would you want to live by an elementary school area? Because master plan communities are the way to go. You control what kids go to your school. If the neighborhood elementary school is in your little circle of your master plan community, and you can walk your child to school or do the golf cart to school, it's a moneymaker. You can turn around and rent it out in a couple of years and it'll be great. Yeah, I'll be like, girl, bye. Especially when you know some of these daughters are shaped like SpongeBob. You know she might not get married like that. Don't do that. Don't do her that way. Gearing up for next year, eating my old stock, cutting up a ton of animals this winter, restocking my food storage. Listen, all I'm doing is calling all my farmers. Hey, can I get some of that beef in March, April? I know it's gonna be costly. Can I buy some from you? Can I get my chickens pre-ordered? Can I buy it from you now? Can I fill the deep freezer up now? Help me, Lord, help me. Yep. CSA, Community Supported Agriculture. I'm going to join. It's a quality product and prices are high, but not as high as they're going to be at the supermarket next summer. Man, next summer, people going to be crying. You know, they're going to go to Five Guys and be like, why the burger $35? They're going to be crying. It's going to be wild next year. That's what I'm saying. Like I remember reading and writing as a kid and drawing, and my nephew draws whole little comic books and all little cool stuff. And the teachers were just like, he had white and Asian teachers, and they were like, oh my God. So insulting, you know, to when you have little brown boys in your family and you hear the stuff teachers say to them. And sometimes it's insulting. Sometimes you're like, I could punch you in the face, but it is what it is. That's what I keep telling y'all. Like, men be trying to, I'm just knocking her up. I'm just banging her. She's stupid. Like, they got a black man that woke up from surgery and it's going viral. And he was on anesthesia. And he's like, girl, I just had a threesome earlier this week. You so dumb. That's why I love you. You so stupid. You believe anything I say. And she's like, oh, really? Like, she recording it, but she doing that rock. Like, I'm going to kill you when we leave this hospital, right? And so, long story short, that went viral. I don't know if that man alive or not, but he probably dumb. Listen, it's okay. And we don't all need to have the same mental capacity. The Lord made us all unique in our own special ways, right? You know, the old joke, the big titty blonde. You know, Marilyn Monroe played the big titty blonde dumb, but she really wasn't dumb. She actually was well read, but that's another conversation. They had to take her out of there. She was doing too many Kennedys, okay? You sometimes. Listen, if you don't want to teach your kids, baby, keep it in the pan. But people don't want to hear that. Like, I'm an adult who, we come from a family of, and this is not a braggadocious minute, but it is. My grandma tested so high, the military was like, hey, come here, nigger. Come here, retake this test because we think you cheated. So she had to take the test 3 times, and she was just crying in this room by herself because she thought the military was like, thought she cheated. And they were like, no, she did really good. Grandpa took a test, did really good. They made him retake it because, you know, it's all loud. This is when it was men army, women army, separated. Blacks was even separated. They sent her to Japan. They sent my grandpa to Japan. And these really highly intelligent people got to have really great military careers typing papers for white men. Back when we don't want no Negroes in here. Right? Both my grandparents, if you see them, they both look Indian. So whatever. Which they actually are, which is funny. But back then it's like hers said colored and his said Indian. But anyway, that's a whole nother conversation. And so every child they've had, super highly intelligent. Me and my sister, numbers, highly intelligent. My brother is from another father, questionable. Smart, sharp, but questionable. Then he has his kids, and you're like, oh my God. My sister has her kids, smart as a whip. It matters who you marry, all the way back to grandma. What was grandma slow? Some kids might be slow. I know y'all saying I'm wrong, but I'm just like, it matters. You can overcome some things, but it matters. Like, I remember the movie where the guy was what was he, Down syndrome, and they wanted to take the baby from him, but the baby was normal. They just need to make sure she could go to school and he could function. Those are real life stories, right? There's a black couple on YouTube. They went viral. The man had 4 sons. This is terrible. I'm just say it. He was sleeping with a woman who was a drunk. She had alcohol problems. So every child he had with her, all 4 boys were fetal alcohol syndrome. So they had issues being angry. They couldn't read for a long time. They could barely function. You know, they had problems. And then he married a black woman in Florida who she had a kid with a man that was a crackhead, basically. And her child was disabled. So they had 5 disabled children together. And she was saying how it's so frustrating to try to help them. And doctors kind of look at them like, there's only so much we can do. And so they're just worried about them their whole life because they're like, what are we going to be able to do with these kids? That it is their fault. They kept sleeping with those partners, and those kids now have mental disabilities. And what was crazy is they had all 4 of the boys in football. And I'm like, these boys already struggling mentally, and you got them in football where they're going to get hit in the head some more? Come on, black people. Come on, black people. Come on. Get it together. But it's a viral video. If I find it, if I can go back and look for it, I'll post it and share it in the community wall. Because y'all think I'll be making this stuff up. This, like, when I watched this, I was like, this is child abuse. I don't know how it's child abuse, but it is. This is ridiculous. Why would you? And the reporter kept asking him, why did you keep having children with this woman that was alcoholic? Well, you know, I just, you know, things happen, brother, you know. And I was here like, and the man, they're not dumb. The girl is a nurse. The brother was like a decent job. He had a decent job. And I was like, what is wrong with y'all? Why are y'all sleeping with drug addicts? And having children with them? It was just crazy, y'all. I'm cutting up today, and I apologize in advance. Genetics are important. Saudis are even putting out that they're good. Oil no money, oil no more. I heard this mixed with 60% water. They can do what they want with that oil. Thank God my dad was a realtor who knows. Okay, there you go. I'm telling you, like, there's so many books on it, and I'll share them in the chat and stuff, but that's where the money at, y'all. My mom used to make us every TV show with closed captioning. Yeah. Yeah. It helps. Stop asking people for their opinions who have zero knowledge or direct experience in it. Sometimes you gotta move. Like, I will, if something happened tomorrow, I tell my mom I got a job at as a manager at a store. She'd be like, "Oh, that's so great." Not because she's like, "What happened?" She just, you have the average person's program to like, does your child have a job that pays really well? That's safe and secure, right? Regardless of the fact that I'm closing on a beach house and doing all this other stuff. They're just like, this makes money because people rent it out? Yes, it does. This will make money too. This truck will make money. This other thing will make money. And so sometimes you have to overwhelmingly consistently show people information. So be nice. I know. And you try to tell people. And so people are in America, one of the easiest countries to make money. Like, people will come here, make money for 5 to 10 years, go back to their home country and be Gucci. We had a Haitian driver that we paid 65,000 because he was gonna make. They were team driving, so they were gonna make crazy bank because they were just driving nonstop day and night. He had made 65,000 after 8 months of working, and basically saved all of it, and was like, "Peace out, I'm going back to Haiti because I can ball out for another 10 years on this money." Like, he was laughing. He was like, "I'm gonna keep my CDL, but I won't be back for another 3-4 years. I don't need to be. I'll come back when I really need the money or I got a team driver." One of my drivers he owned a truck and it was on the road with some other people. Them Haitians were tripping. Don't you tell these ninjas about Africa. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I learned a type of AOL chat rooms you can't roast if you're hunting and pecking at the come on. Cali taxes. Yep. What, John? Oh my God. Cali taxes your state pension even if you move out of state? Ooh, that's dirty. Cali. Ooh, Cali dirty. LL got to go to Africa right now. You cannot bring US dollars with you. Listen, when I was out there in Zanzibar, we had to exchange our money. They weren't really taking dollars. They were like, go to ATM. Go to ATM. No, we don't want those dollars. Oh my God, that's where I bought mine. And the master plan with a new Arizona warehouse whereby. Yeah, come on, let them immigrants move in there. We don't all have the same mental capacity, and that's okay. The Lord ain't all blessed us the same. That's all right. Marilyn Monroe was a hustler. They had to take her out. She was doing too much. She was doing too much. She was one of the first Me Too speak out on having to sleep with the men to get the movie roles. So they were like, hey, don't do that. What part of the game is that? That's why Joe DiMaggio was like, let me just take you away from here and love on you. And he loved her to the day he died. But she, these damn girls don't know to love somebody that love you. Listen, want the man that wants you. Marilyn, you could have got off them drugs and lived with Joe DiMaggio and been okay. Marilyn didn't benefit from her own likeness. Okay. It's real crazy. Come on, man. It's really, and again, I apologize in advance if this is distasteful, because I know every show I do, someone goes, "It's so distasteful, Ericka, that you mentioned that. That's distasteful," and I go, "I don't care. I don't care. The truth is always distasteful." They are. They do personality tests on a lot of these jobs. I remember one time I did this test, and the guy was like, "Either you're psycho or you cheated the test." Like, because he's like, "You made the answers too perfect." I said, "Oh damn, I gotta be a dummy. I gotta mess up the questions. Okay, let me do it again." And he laughed, and we went on about the interview. One of the reasons arranged marriage was so popular, your parents picked who was a good fit, not who had the best titties, who was a good fit. See, some of these men need to be with that SpongeBob Sheila over there and need to go sit down. Sir, you're not evaluating yourself correctly. Go sit down over there. She all right. She treat you nice. She give you good food. Go and sit down over there. That's nice. Some of these women, don't sit down with him. Home girl, quit playing these games. And here's the thing. When I hear about, what's her name? A lot of these artists was doing drugs back then. Okay, what's her name? That Billie Holiday. Imagine being a 14-year-old put in a brothel, sold for sex. I never was mad at Billie Holiday for doing drugs. I'm like, life was hard for her. I was never mad at her for that. That just what it was. One of the reasons that brother Colin Powell never ran for president, even though people begged him to do it, is his wife had a problem with pills. And he said, I never wanted her to be embarrassed that she had a time in life where she was messed up by pills, because again, these doctors were prescribing people the wrong kind of stuff. So when people are like, oh, they were all on drugs, yeah, a little bit. You did a commentary on where you purchased seafood from, salmon. Oh, okay, yeah, it's wild caught salmon. I'll post the link for you all. I could watch a 3-season TV series. I'm telling you, man, like when I look back at our family, like in the land that we still own in Alabama and in South Carolina, like it's crazy stories there. We had like U.S. Marshals who were colored men, but native enough. But the United States government let them be marshals, but didn't let them arrest white men. It's crazy stories, crazy old histories. If I could write books on these stories, I'd be happy. But I know my family would be like, stop it, cut it out. Kevin, listen, because it's easy, it's dangerous. The easier it is, the more dangerous it will be. Yeah, super dangerous. Well, it depends. It depends on where you at. So let's say you say, Ericka, I don't make no money and I just need a break on my income, or I make 8K or something and I need a break. You can go live in South America. You could go live in South America. You save some money. But also, what's the next plan? Because just conserving money is a position, but you got to be able to make money too. There's lots of parts of Africa that are built up. Like what we see on TV is the disrespectful. There's a lot of parts that are super built up, right? Uganda has its own car dealership. Like they make cars. Like they have their own, like I know O'Shea don't show it to you, but like Uganda's like beautiful. And there are places our church sends like 100 to 200 kids every year because of it. So there is, if you go watch the news on Mexico, they have this whole thing about Mexico. So instead of sending stuff from China over, right, they'll ship it to Mexico to save on the tariffs that Trump was putting on them, right? And so they're gonna have these warehouses and factories in Mexico it'll be quicker for the trucks to come across the border, and there'll be less taxes charged on them, less tariffs, less all this other stuff, and they could go from there. So people aren't ready, but it's coming. Like Mexico, like the billions of dollars people have been sending their cousins back home, 100 and 200 and 300 at a time. Trust me, like Mexico is good. That's why when you see people coming across the border, they're not Mexicans. They're from El Salvador. They're from Guatemala. They're from Chile. They're from Argentina. They're from Brazil. They're from Uruguay. They're from Ghana. It's a country where everybody's black and they speak Spanish. It's right there at the top. You got Venezuela and then what's beside it. So you're meeting those people. You're not meeting Mexicans. Like literally when we were in Cancun, every single Mexican guy we talked to was talking to us about Chicago, because my sister together, Chicago. And he was naming streets. He's like, oh, we live in this street. Oh, my sister has a burrito place. We've been in Chicago so long. We own 4 rentals. But my girl was illegal. She didn't have no paperwork. So we came back to Cancun. Because if you speak English and you back in Cancun, they're paying you like $2K a week. The rest of the staff's making $1K a week. You big baller, because they need you to speak English to make the money. And a lot of the Mexicans that are there are like, fuck English. I'm not going to speak it. I don't need to. Like they're revolting against it. Like I refuse to learn English. I ain't want the colonizer's language. And you're like, cool. Now the Mexicans that are leaving Chicago, the Mexicans, and I put that video out, Chicago is Mexico, somewhere on the channel. The Mexicans that are leaving parts of Texas, or they got a girl and something's wrong, they go back. Oh, my girl's illegal. I can't, they can go and make big money in Mexico now. So the tide has turned. So the people we have coming in are underskilled, undereducated, and probably don't speak English. That's why they didn't stop in Panama. They didn't stop in Mexico. They just kept on going. And they all dislike Venezuelans. Like we were in Panama on the tour in a Boquete and Panama City. They're like, Venezuelans, they do bad work. We're in Mexico talking to Cancun folks. Oh, Venezuelans, they do bad work. We're in freaking Texas, and they're like, oh, don't hire that crew. They're Venezuelans. So I don't know what Venezuela did to all these people, but they don't like them. They don't do good work. Oh, somebody's in here spamming about Bitcoin. Delete it. Banned. Block ministry. Block ministry. Yeah, Joe was drinking. Back then a lot of people's parents was drinking hard. They was drinking. Mods, y'all always know y'all got to block these people down here tripping. Oh, it's not. No. This is an hour live. I started it earlier, and I forgot. I came back. Listen, good luck on that. Oh, I took Jordan Peterson's personality test. I flunked. I got zeros in many categories like agreeableness. John, are you not being agreeable? What's happening? John McCain's wife had a problem. Yeah, you got to realize a lot of these doctors, I don't know if y'all know that River the song, What a Difference a Day Makes. And Apple's using it in its commercials. The black woman, she was married 7 times, right? And she died at 39. She took a pill for insomnia and a pill for weight loss at the same time. It took her out. So doctors were prescribing stuff to people in the 50s, 60s, 70s that they didn't know what the future of it held, right? Tammy Faye that sang, the country music star, they were giving her drugs that were like enough to kill a horse. And she survived long enough. She suffered a long time though. People are leaving America. Everyone's angry. That's funny. The funny thing, Rose, is 9 million people are coming in here. We don't care about 1 million leaving. Or I think it's like 700,000 leaving. Nobody cares. Like, okay, bye. It's one of the easiest to make money. You can go do whatever you want. I mean, it is what it is. Media lies about a lot of Africa. Yeah. Right. I'm telling you, it's on my list. Cabo is lit. Cabo is actually my favorite. We just been going to Cancun because it's like they've been okay. So here's the deal. Tulum blew up so crazy from the pandemic and all the black people running down there, all the white people running down there, and the influencers that they're getting their own airport, which makes Cancun have to compete for all the millions of dollars, billions of dollars that are going to go directly to Tulum. So usually people had to fly into Cancun, ride for an hour, 30 minutes, almost 2 hours to Tulum. They don't have to do that no more. So that's going to pull all this money out of people who are doing transportation in that area. Just a ton of money out of their pockets. It's going to pull it out. So Cancun is like dropping prices really low at all their places so they can recoup that income back. So Cabo is my next favorite, and Cabo's really my first favorite because I just love it's a little bit more chill, it's a little more relaxed. Cancun is what I would call California, Mexico. Tulum is definitely the California of Mexico, and they have a $10 billion train that's going around now that's going to take you to parts of Mexico you never seen before. So you're going to see me do more travel in Mexico for sure as I work on my Spanish, but you're going to see me hit where the black Afro Mexicans are, because there are a couple influencers who are taking people to where the Afro Mexicans are because they never really got the money and they don't always get hired at the resorts. But the last couple of resorts I've been at, they've been some very Afro Mexican people working, and I'd be like, "What's up?" And like the girl got, "I like your hair," and she had braids too. I was like, "Get it? Okay, Selena, with them braids in your hair. Come on, sis, your hair is thicker than mine. Get out of here with that." I mean, like, here's the big, like, I go watch international TV more than I watch American TV because I barely watch TV. But when I do, I try to go, what does Al Jazeera say? You know what I'm saying? I always go, okay, America said this. Let me go watch Al Jazeera because they're going to tell me the truth. Okay. So when I go watch Al Jazeera, they always interview like Indians and Asians going over to Africa, starting a store, putting the Africans to work in the store. And then they go back home because the Africans are so scared of the shop owner. They keep on working like he in the store still, or they show the African women who have a baby by a Chinese man, and the Chinese man either goes home, or there's been a few of them that really stay and really do love the wife because they don't have an opportunity for a wife in China. So there was this one guy, he was older. His parents were like 70 years old in China. He was like 45. And he was like their last chance of the baby. So he was old when they had him. And then he was like, I can't get a wife. I'm broke. My parents are broke. He was in Africa. He was so happy with his wife. She's cooking Chinese food. She doing all the shit. And they got a baby. The baby looked like an Asian full baby. Now, their second baby had the Negro hair, but that first baby was Asian. And he's showing them on the FaceTime to the Chinese family. They're like, oh, yes, yes, yes. You know, they're like going crazy. But there's even a YouTube channel of a Black African who left Africa to go back with her Chinese husband to China. And he broke. Like, he got fired by the mining company, right? So he's back in China. He's farming. And they live like in some old dusty ass town. And she on YouTube showing the children who look like tanned Asian men and a girl, and they working in the fields. Now they done made so much YouTube money that they ain't really gotta work like that no more. They ain't gotta live like that no more. But they do, because that's where he's from. His parents are Chinese, and he lost his job because he hooked up with her. It's on YouTube. Find it. It's a Black girl. It's an African in China. They farmers, but they making that YouTube money. Go look it up. They barefoot in the rice fields, baby. Okay, don't get it twisted. Africa. They doing what they do. Okay. Come on, man. Kevin, that's what I'm saying. Ain't it the colonizer's language? Okay. Overprescription. Overprescription is a problem. Now, they assume Black people had problems with drugs and Latino people. So the doctors, when the opiate crisis came out, only prescribed to white people. So Black people and Latino people were spared the opioid crisis because doctors were racist. Boom, boom. There you go. Blessing in disguise. What is the name of your person who helped you set up tax biz? I don't have a tax business. No. I don't have one. But credit Irene, who is now Irene Day. She got her credentials. She's EA. She has a course, and I've shared it a bunch of times on here, to help you set up a tax business. So. Look, the Yarbo family. The Yarbo family. There you go. Look them up on YouTube. It's a real thing. Al Jazeera. That's crazy. His wife is Ugandan. I'm telling you. First wave of Venezuelans with the top food chains playing versus the Walkers. I believe it. They are. They're very happy. They're very happy. I'm not disrespecting them. US being called, there you go. So I hope this was helpful. I hope this was entertaining. I hope this was educational. I tried my best to talk about interest rates as much as I possibly could in a knowledgeable way. But basically, if you are a business owner, it is time to hit the ground running the first 6 months of the year. If you are a service business person, get ready, because when the interest rates drop, those people are going to take money out of their house, or they're going to get credit cards, and all the stuff they want to repair in their house, they're going to be calling you to repair those things in their house. If you're grass cutting, lawn care, anything middleman to millions course, you know what we're talking about is coming, right? I had one person complain in the middleman to millions course, and I was reading all the reviews. I had all these great reviews. I'm gonna share them on the wall, and I really wanted to be like, baby, you just need to run ads. You know what I'm saying? Stay ready, so don't gotta get ready. You already know. Come on, it really do. These apartment buildings are poorly constructed. They loud, noisy. It's terrible. But be ready, y'all. Get ready. Set yourself up. It's going to be good stuff. So this is your girl, Ericka, Classic Line Blog. Thank you guys so much for being here. Hit the like button when this video renders. Join any of those things I've been talking about. Enjoy. Thank you, MGM. Thank you, Golden, for the super chats. And you guys have a wonderful evening.